and today we have a young entrepreneur who's with us in studio, and he's joined by Rucien Petersen. Good afternoon and welcome, Rucien.
Good afternoon, Sitara. Thanks a lot for having me.
Good afternoon, Matthew, and welcome. Matthew is a photographer.
Afternoon all, and thanks for having me.
I think firstly the youth, it's often that they are overlooked in some instances and not taken serious. Giving youth an opportunity, to share a bit about what they do, why they do it, encourages others as well. That is also youth, that is young, that is entrepreneurs, up and coming business owners, so that they can also realize, that they can also do something. They can also make a difference, and they can ultimately also achieve their dreams.
Oh, definitely. You want to achieve. What made you decide to do photography?
Sitara, I never thought of photography. I always wanted to be an actor. I'm still in pursuing those dreams as well. But one of the first things I've learned from Rucien is how to brand yourself. So how my photography business started, and it's named Labels Aside Craft. So how it started as a vlogging page where just labels aside, where I used to talk about myself and my sexuality and being open because I'm a proud member of the rainbow community as well. And after our Ganse Kraal boot camp, where Rucien he was also there, that motivated me into start my own business. So I was very fortunate enough to bought myself a camera that December, and Mishka actually was my first model or subject I shoot and uploaded, I tested, and I got a few clients, I got a few feedback, and the people were really digging my vibes. And yeah, it went beautiful from there. If I can say two rules that stood out the most for me was networking and consistency. So through networking, it's where I am today, I think, and that also played a huge role. And being consistent.
Youth that use the tools that's been given to them in classes and implementing it in their businesses, and especially for someone that's just starting out. And I'm sure that there are more tools that you've given to him that he can still use in his business.
One of the tools, networking, I mean, it's such an important aspect to any business. I mean, you need to be able to speak to people and connect to people. And so many times I often talk about this when it comes to networking. A lot of business owners actually don't want to go, or they don't want to attend if there's an event or an opportunity, because they're shy, they lack confidence, they don't feel that there's a need. But it's so important that you go, because it gives you an opportunity to promote what it is that you are selling.
Just talking about networking, did you find it difficult to actually network with people when you decided you're going to now go into business for yourself? You're doing this head on, and this is what I want to achieve.
I'm a very free spirited person with a big personality, so I love working with people. So I think I have that as a kan ek nou sê in Afrikaans 'n voordeel vir my. Especially as a young entrepreneur, I don't like a 9 to 5. So I need to moet alles inkry wat ons kan inkry. So I never thought my business would grow as far in this 2 years as it did. It started out as a side hustle, but God willingly, it even my deurgetrend is like a full-on business.
We'll continue this conversation with Rucien and Matthew and find out from Matthew. We're going to try and pick Boney's brains and just find out how did he actually just start out in order for him to have to be where he is today. You have to start somewhere. You've got to start off with something. Now, he said that he's used Mishka as his model. So she does the other part, the other aspect of your business, correct?
Most definitely.
Okay, so Mishka is the one I need to be friends with. I'm not going to be friends with the photographer. So we'll talk to Mishka about, I'm going to be very nice to her and see what happens. But do stay tuned to 100.4 FM. Control on radio 786 100.4 FM. Well, we are still in our first community feature where we are looking at Youth Month, and we're looking at a young entrepreneur, Matthew Kotze. He is a photographer, and he's talking to us about how the education that he went out to to learn about how to be an entrepreneur, you with going by to Rucien and them, how all of that has come together for him and how it has assisted him in his business that he has started off. Because a lot of people, Rucien, think that going out into the world, being an entrepreneur is easy. You go and set up a business somewhere, and Bob's your uncle. You're going to be rich overnight.
It's definitely not the case.
But
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you think about, because for them it's all about I need to earn money, but they don't understand you've got to start off at the bottom before you can actually reach the top.
100%. And I think in today's time, entrepreneurship is definitely glamorized. So, and because we're also living in a time where everything is quick, you can order food within an hour, you can order a ride within an hour, or even within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And so people growing up in this time, they think that is how life is and how things are. And so if they were to start a business, its results are going to happen overnight. But it's not the case. It's a journey, because as you may mention, there are a lot of factors that you need to take into account when you're starting the business. Firstly, is there even a need for the product or for the service to do what you want when you want? It's not the case, so there are a lot of factors that you have to take into account before stepping out into the world of entrepreneurship.
Indeed. Just hearing what Rucien said, did you feel that there is a need for you to be a photographer? Is there a need for that, considering that there are so many photographers around, especially in Cape Town? Everybody has their own personal photographer, and a lot of photographers are known already. You are just starting out now in that field. Did you see a need for it?
I definitely saw a need, because what I realized with the especially with the new photographers is we are ons hou van die nuwe goed gebruik, die nuwe equipment, so we like to use the modern equipment. But what makes me different is I like to see myself as a bit of an oldie, so I like to work with my raw elements such as my sunrise and my sunset, that type of lighting, and not to use like your normal speed light flash to lit up your subject. So it's for me, it's all about capturing that raw essence of the photo. And
he's using nature as a way of actually implementing his business, which I think is awesome, because not a lot of photographers go out early in the mornings to get that sunrise, or go out late at night, or before sunset, just to get that particular sunset, and somehow or the other make it, they kind of turn it into a gem, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, and it's really great to hear how Matthew's also looking at things from a different perspective.
Exactly.
He's looking at how can he create something unique, how can he offer something that's different, and be different to the others that is out there. It's great to hear that he has already identified certain aspects with regards to sunrise, with regards to lighting, and how he can use that to his advantage to be different in the market.
What was that starting point, and how difficult was it for you to achieve what it is that you actually wanted to achieve at the end of the day?
Yeah, it was definitely difficult in the beginning phases, but what I did was and that's why I referred in my previous question, I went to go look what is the need, what is going to make it easier for me, and that's why I realized none of our photographers, especially in my community, they don't like to do early morning shoots and that type of stuff. And I actually had clients before that I tell them, listen here, but for the most beautiful pictures, like this is the seat time and that type of stuff. But it's kind of difficult, because who wants to get up at 6 a.m. to catch up? But if you really want, I know, right? If you really want that great picture, so yeah, that's why ek wil altyd daai neerbring na my kliënte toe, om goeie kwaliteit en goeie gehalte foto te kry, is om dit op sulke maniere te doen en nie te staat te maak op die toerusting wat jy het nie.
Maar ek dink dis fantasties, want dit is daardie tyd van die oggend wanneer jy die beste portret sal kry.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, it's the best time of the morning. Matthew, just in concluding, your advice to our youth, especially for the ones that are in matric this year, looking at what it is that they want to study next year, or what business they want to go in next year, what is your advice that you would give to them, as well as the youth that are sitting at home struggling to find a job?
Pursue your passion. Definitely go for it. Be you, do you. And I don't think that people's gonna like this one, but it's embrace your failure, because you need failure to grow and to refine your business and to look at new strategies and how to incorporate your business and that type of stuff. So mainly for me, it's embrace your failure, embrace that time when you are down on the ground, because that's where the learning and the growth happens. Yeah.
I like that. Embrace your failure. I think that's the best advice that anyone could possibly give, because people are too afraid to fail,
Yes,
but they don't
definitely.
understand that that failure is actually what's going to lead them to success at the end of the day. I mean, Rushan, imagine if you had to say, "Oh gosh, no, Spot Media is not working. I'm a total failure." You would never have been where you are today.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many failures that I had, and losses that we experienced over the years. But you just have to keep on going. You just have to keep on believing in yourself, and working hard to achieve those dreams and visions and goals that you have for yourself.
I think I can still see myself moving forward if I really put my mind to it. But failure is so important. It's important that you fail before you actually get that success. And I think that is where we will conclude today, Rushan.
I'm good with that.
Matthew, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon and taking time out from your family time and taking time out from your photography time, as well as Mishka